Brian Turner with CCS here. As we continue on with this series on what does it take if I want to put up a barn of some kind, we've been talking with Andy Scholting, president of Nutrient Advisors, and every time I get together and talk with Andy, he always brings up another comment that begs questions in my mind. So last time we were together, we talked about nutrient management. Well, you had said, well, there's a lot of compliance, paperwork, etc., plans, and they ebb and flow. So that goes back to record keeping. Yep. So now, obviously, everybody loves record keeping, but kind of give us an idea. What does that really mean, and how can you help on your side of the business?
Sure. Well, Brian, one of the common things that happens with a livestock producer is they're exhausted by the time they get through the permitting, first the decision-making process, then the permitting process, then the construction process, and they get that first group of livestock in their barn, and they take that permit book and they throw it in the desk drawer and they forget all about it.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is they've just signed on to a long list of required record keeping that they have to keep for various regulatory agencies, whether it be the state regulatory agency, EPA, their local NRDs, their county. There's many agencies that can be involved in requiring records of that facility. So to answer your question, one of our key services is working with that producer on a long-term basis to help them understand what it is that they have to do, and then help them compile and make sense of all of the data that they typically are already doing right anyway.
Yeah. But
it's really important to document and keep the records that need to be kept.
So that's good to hear, because one of the things, we all get busy in our day, and especially today, today's ag economy. I mean, you are literally working from dusk to dawn plus some, right?
Yeah.
So with the documentation that's required anymore, is it? And I'm assuming there's times that you have to send it in, you have to, or
Sure.
report. I guess maybe that's
Right.
a better word to report on.
Right.
And so if I have you helping me with that, what does that look like? I mean, I'm assuming you have to come out, or is that what you do? Do you come out to my site, or what do you do?
Sure. I'm gonna give you a big picture of what we do.
Sure.
A good analogy of what we do in the area of environmental compliance is just like a CPA is to the IRS, right?
Okay.
Most producers work with a CPA. They expect that CPA to know the law. They expect them to take their raw information and put it in the right box, to file the reports, to meet the deadlines. If that producer has an audit, they're going to expect their CPA to be there with them for that audit. And if they're good at their job, they're going to expect that CPA to make good business recommendations along the way. That's really an excellent analogy to what we are to the state regulatory agency and EPA, is that it is our job to understand the rules, to make sure that the client understands what they have to do. They get us a lot of raw data. We help compile it, we put it in the right place, we file the reports, we meet the deadlines. If they have an inspection, we are there representing all of our work and representing the client and how they have been managing their business.
Yeah.
As well as, with all of that data, if we manage it well, there's a great opportunity to capitalize on the information and make better business decisions that ideally would make our clients money.
That sounds excellent, because of just the fact that then I can focus. If I'm the ag person, I can focus on what I do best, and that's either growing the animals or growing the crops,
Yeah.
and managing that on the farm stuff.
Exactly.
So while we all think we're better at paperwork, we're probably not, especially with the changing dynamics. And I'm assuming
Sure.
part of your service then helps me stay in tune with it. As we were talking earlier, counties would change their processes, procedures, etc. So will help me manage or navigate all that.
Sure. It's our job to be at all those meetings,
Okay.
to muddle through the changing regulations. It's got that. It's challenging for a producer to know not only what the changes are, but how does it apply to my operation. When regulations change, it might only apply to that open lot feedlot, or it might only apply to that hog producer. So it's really our job to navigate through and figure out, okay, how does this really impact this client at this site today?
So you can help me separate the bull So,
Exactly.
As-
Some sorting.
some sorting, there
Yes.
we go. Because I know you sit down at the coffee shop. Sometimes you get into the conversation, and information gets confused.
Absolutely.
You said something about meeting. I wanted to touch on here real quick. I know your team, because you got a pretty good, like you said, you had 32 folks. Your team, if I have to go to a county meeting or whatever, your team will actually sit with me or help me through those meetings. Am I understand that correctly?
Absolutely, and quite often we're the lead in presentation in those county zoning hearings.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, that's good to know. So, well, good. Well, tell us a little bit more about Nutrient Advisors.
Sure. Well, we've been again in business for 15 years. We work with the livestock sectors in the area of environmental compliance and nutrient management. You can get a hold of us at nutrientadvisors.com or 402-372-2236.
Excellent. Thanks again, Andy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.